Okay. All right. This one is obviously, as you can note, it's a lot. It's very heavy. Um, so there's a lot of work to be done. Um, yeah. Okay. So just let's start with it. And then just go through. Also, I want to go through the rubric, and then if there are any questions, let me know. All right. Okay. All right, so it's very practical in this one. As if you have had a read through or a skim through, you can see that there's podcasting and there is news and all the stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is an individual assignment as before, right? Please pay particular attention to the mark allocation, which you're going to look at the end there. Just to see the rubric. Question 1 is 50 marks. So a South African tennis player, Mpho Dludla, right, has qualified to play at Wimbledon this year, following the guidelines for writing a sports report. Write a report for radio about this historic event. Yeah.
First, I can't see anything. I'm seeing a blank screen, a black screen. I don't know if I'm the only one.
I'm still trying
Once again,
to log in.
Okay.
I'm gonna share it again. Should be able to see it. Let me just try that again. Uh, can you see that now?
I see that now. Thank you.
Good. Okay. All right. So the thing is that, okay, so with the sports report, um, it's so this is going to be, I would take it as an extended sports report, not exactly a news story, which is, let's say, 5 to 6 sentences. Okay, so 5 to 6 facts within obviously news, because we're going to make this a little bit more, not it's going to be not more sensationalized, that's the wrong word to say. It's definitely more feature-ish, do you understand? You write the sports report exactly the same as you would a news report, right? But the thing is, it's written a little bit more colloquially, in other words, a little bit more informally. The way that you will address a story in sport has to be, you got to think about talking to like a friend, as opposed to a news reporter is talking to a person. Do you understand?
Okay.
So when you do look at this, you will look at, let's say, the story. You will go look up, let's say, stories that obviously headline this particularly. I mean, this obviously him qualifying. If there are any obviously developments within the story, you want to include that as well, right? But you want to make this holistic in terms of obviously writing enough. I would say if the story is between I'd say 8 and 10 sentences. So sentences, not lines. So it'll probably be about 13 to 14 lines, but go for the sentences, 1 sentence per fact. You'll be able to get the 15 marks there. Then you're gonna have to. I just want to see no one's waiting in the lobby. Okay, cool. All right, let's take that off. All right, so then you got to go and report this. So you're going to take your phone, right? Please, just with the recording as well, and the recordings that you're going to do in this assignment, please make sure that, look, I mean, the standard apps that come with a device are fine. I'm saying the voice recording ones, but it doesn't do any harm just to go and download a little bit more, one that's a little bit more advanced. And I've got like 2 or 3 that I've loaded onto my phone, just so I can have a selection of, also play around with them to see what sounds a little bit more tinny. Some of the apps make your voice sound tinny, and it's not only just the format. I'm saying you might be looking at a small format like an AAC or an AMR, where you should actually be recording like in an MP3, right? The MP3 is quite stock standard as a nice, something that you can get really good quality from. But when you do record, just make sure that like you put the effort in. In other words, I want you to go into a room, The main one that you should go into is your bedroom, just because of the fact, I think I've said this to you before, because of the bedding, it already gives you like a little bit of a buffer in terms of like sound insulation, I would say, right? Okay. And what you do is just close that door. If you do live with people, or you know that there is, obviously close the windows, please. Then just put like a blanket or duvet there by the door, you understand, or pillows or whatever it is, and then record there. Just wait for there to be no birds tweeting outside, because I know, so don't record in the early morning when you know they are busy, or like now in the late evening when they're going to make some noise. You understand?
Or if you know there's the lawn's being cut on a Wednesday afternoon, don't do it.
Oh yeah. Ours, it's Thursday this side, so anyway, so yeah, I've got to wait. Like I'm always yeah, you know your timetable, man. You know the schedule, right? So just for yourself, while you're starting to, let's say, build this particular sound account, whether you do want to put it onto SoundCloud or you want to put it anywhere else, I don't mind, as long as the link works. Do you understand? So again, what I did advise to you is to rather put it like again, Iona is free, it's South African. If you push them only because they are accessible. So I'm saying, should you have any problems, like you can actually phone Iona as opposed to phoning Spotify or Apple and getting lost in translation. Do you understand? So if you need some assistance, they're very happy to help. They're also happy to take you through any kind of like their subscriptions, or their like, and help you along for any questions in terms of like building RSS feeds, and obviously building some obviously some followship, okay, some traffic towards your account. Anyway, but the point is that you can create up to 50 uploads for free with a free account, which is a lot. It's a lot of uploads, right? But you have to upload something every 60 days. That's the catch with a free account. Okay.
So Chris, we have to basically open up a SoundCloud account.
Yeah, look, the SoundCloud obviously works differently. SoundCloud is a lot more, like I say, Iona is obviously with those restrictions that I just told you now. SoundCloud allows you, I think, it allows you a certain amount of space. So I think it's like a gig or something, or whatever, of stuff that you can upload. Or it's a lot less. I don't know. I'm doing away with mine. I've got basically 2 tracks on my SoundCloud now, because I'm doing away with it, and I'm moving it because I've moved everything over to Spotify, So, but you can go put it up there, but make sure that when you do create something, you might as well put in all the effort, put in all the descriptions, put a great photo of yourself, like put all the bells and whistles, put a well, like I say, a nice quality sound bite if you're going to upload your stuff, nice quality. And again, I'm not sure if any of yous have attempted to download what is the Audacity? Did any of you try downloading?
I did. It didn't work for me.
Not in what way?
It didn't work because it kept on glitching. Like, I would press record and then the record button wouldn't actually work. And I thought it was my computer, but like when I have tried multiple times, like I'll press the record button and it doesn't actually record, or like I'll be on Audacity and then it just randomly like shuts down by itself. Or I get what is it called? The spinning wheel of whatever.
But that sounds like a hardware problem, eh? And I'm saying to you, is it because there's too much stuff on your PC?
I've cleared though. That's the thing. I went to the iStore because it's recording like as we speak. I've pressed the record button, but it won't stop when I tell it to stop. Does that make sense?
Let me just quickly stop here. I want to see without.
Oh snap! Hold on, Chris. I think we have something. Okay, I pressed the start and then I stopped the button. Okay, let me rephrase. Audacity works when it wants to.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know if I installed it Audacity.
Yeah.
Apparently I haven't. I don't think I have. I don't think I've installed it on mine. Okay, well, I can always, yeah, you see it's not, it's going to open up. No, I haven't installed it up. I installed Adobe. Yeah, just give me a second while this thing, just go back to and close this. All right. Okay. Let me just share this again. All right. So yeah, that sounds to me like your PC's it's struggling a little bit. Do you understand? Yeah. As opposed to and it shouldn't be with look it shouldn't but it shouldn't struggle with Audacity because it doesn't use a lot of memory and it's not a complex app.
What
But
about voice
okay.
memo, Chris? Can we record it on voice memo?
Yeah, you can record it anywhere you want,
Okay.
anywhere,
So it doesn't
anywhere
have
you
to be
want.
like a SoundCloud account.
No. As long as you give me the right link and everything's there, then I can get from there. Okay. All right. So please do not record this while like I had second years, which like I had a second year. I'm not going to say all of them. It's a 1 second year that went and recorded all his takes in the one recording, which was super lazy, obviously. So as he was messing up, like it was still part of the upload, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So you mustn't do that, please. Like you must practice the delivery of it well. Remember, delivery is with this is a little bit more, like I say, it's a little bit more colloquial, a little bit more informal. You know how sports presenters sound. They sound like they got a little bit more life. It's not that monotone projection of and delivery like the news is. Okay. But please only upload a perfect take. Okay. So you're more than welcome to obviously do you must record a couple of times and then maybe you can cut and edit it naturally. I'm saying naturally to put it all together. Okay. All right. So that's 1.2. 1.3 says using the inverted pyramid of news writing, rewrite this online story as a radio news story for 15 marks. So for this, only again, so clicking on this, so you've obviously I'm sure covered the inverted pyramid by now. Again, the inverted pyramid also applies to sports, like it's news in general. Okay. Again, it's just about the information that you're putting that's quite different. Like, especially when we are dealing with fixtures and stuff, which you're not currently doing unless he's actually played something, like he's played a game. And Wimbledon, man, has already passed. So there must be some kind of, you're going to do like maybe a recap over here. All right. I'm not sure as to how I don't follow sports. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't. So I can't really say what happened there. Okay, but the inverted pyramid, please, like again, it's that from most important to least important. Using this story here, please, you must re-paraphrase. Okay, so you may not copy and paste like parts of this. You have to rewrite the article obviously from this very long article, whatever it may be, to 5 to 6 sentences. Okay, 5 to 6 sentences. Right. And then you will deliver in that monotone, very strong, powerful, very clear on the full stops, hardly no commas, only if necessary. If there is an abbreviation or an acronym or whatever it is, you must spell it out first, even if it is something very common like the SABC or the ANC. Rather play on the side of safety and say the African National Congress or the ANC, and then you can go and refer to the acronym later. When you do say, let's say you're referring to a minister or whatever it may be, you must say the minister of whatever, Lindiwe, whatever it may be, all right? And then you can only use her surname later in the article itself. Okay. All right. So then you will go and record that again, please. This has to be more, again, it's very, like I said, when I say it's monotone, it means you can't have inflections on sensationalistic sides of it. So one, your copy mustn't include sensationalistic vocabulary, right? And two, you mustn't go and now make it like, wow, do you understand? You can't be emphasizing the deaths and the this and that. You can't say it like that. You got to be like a straight shooter with this, and then get
Wait,
those.
Chris, the 1.4, that's the link up.
That's the.
I'm saying for 1.4, we're on 1.4, right?
Yeah.
The link above.
Yes. So you will use this link here in 1.3 to write the story first. Okay. Again,
Okay.
for most
In 5 to
important,
6 lines.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
5 to 6 sentences, eh?
So it's like a
Sentences.
summary. Okay.
Yeah. Remember, it is going to be a summary. If we have to actually click on this, and I just don't want to switch screens right now, right? It's 10 to 1 going to be definitely more than 5 to 6 sentences. Do you understand, right? Normally the News 24 articles or anything I'm saying in terms of print or digital print is a lot longer because they have the liberty, obviously, and to do so, right? But so there's a lot of information here, quotes and stuff like that, and there's a lot of background information that isn't quite necessary, right, all the time. If you need to contextualize a specific something, you do need to obviously contextualize with previous events of this particular long running story, if it is. In this case, it isn't, because it's a once-off thing. Obviously, the submarine failed, and people were obviously swept out to sea, so it's something that you'll find statistics on right there. The number of people, very important, when it happened, when did they find it, and what happened to the submarine, itself. Okay. Important there. So you should be able to note that, like, when I listen to a story or I read a story, whatever it is, like, if it's missing information, it'll stand out as if it's missing information. Like, I won't know how you got from point 1 to point 2 or point 2 to point 4 or all of a Sunday, right? So when you do write, that's what the inverted pyramid is about. It's about making sure that obviously the lead writing is how you start the story, right? Okay. So the most important fact starts at the beginning. Please don't start with don't start with, let's say, 43 cents. So don't start with factual, like a statistical information, because as a person still needs a couple of words to get into the story. So a total amount of 43 cents, whatever it is, you understand, on a hike in petrol price to 1 rand 25, whatever, you understand. You got to put you got to buffer it with a certain, like, 2 or 3 words before you get to a number. I'm saying, if you're going to use a number in the lead, I'm saying in the first sentence, right? Anyway, so it goes from most important to least important, right? Okay. To contextualize the stories correctly. All right. So I think that is question 1. Okay. And the second question is the podcasts, right? The 2 podcasts that you got to create, right? And that's the assignment. But again, it's a lot of work, right? So what happens is with this, and I must stress this, like very clearly. We give you the articles only so that you can use them as a springboard to create something original. Do you understand? So the thing is, a student must not take this article and regurgitate it in what they're submitting to be a podcast. A podcast is supposed to be independent thought, do you understand? And something original, something fresh, as well as creating content in general, has to be something fresh. Do you understand? So I want you again. So let's just take I will click on this one. So just give me a second. I just want to click on that. And I will just let's open up there. Are you kidding me? Please say that it actually is available. So in a second. Just in a second. I just want to see this thing. Still page not found. That's not great. Wow. I must need to go. No. I'm gonna try the second one. Just give me a second, yeah. What I will give you I will give you permission in is for the first one. Just take the title. Okay, I'm gonna quickly switch screens now. Just give me a second. Uh, yeah, you are there. Eh? Okay, you are
Yep.
there. Okay,
So yeah.
that's good. Just give me a second, just because stop the sharing. Yeah. All right. Okay. Because my PC is trying to. Let me actually stop that quickly because it's trying to read something off the disk. Okay. All right. Let me share, and I'm gonna quickly just share this. Yeah. So here, for example, is the one story, right? This whole building a greener, uh, building a greener world takes a world of change, right? You can all see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna cut that off. Okay. So let's say you read through this article. Now I've read this already because they used it earlier this year sometime. Okay. And it's your basic upfront updates on, like climate change, etc., etc., etc. Quite boring stuff. I'm saying not irrelevant, but boring. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Right.
Mhm.
So you read through this and it must spark off some kind of idea that you would like to do a 4-minute podcast about, right? So for example, like let's say I go here, creating advocates and stewards, right? Mandates from the top of an organization may not always be followed, especially if employees don't buy the overall philosophy. It's one thing to donate money to NGOs or groups, blah, blah, blah. All right, employees committed to adopting practices that go beyond recycling, printing paper at the offices are great examples of all A to follow. So, okay. I mean, I can carry on there, but I already got some ideas, right? So, for example, I would, if I would make a nice, easy how to teach your 6-year-old child to be economically conscious or whatever it is, you understand. So it's a nice quirky step by step, but you got to really, like, what I would do is I'd actually go to I'd go to a 6 or 8 year old. I go to my little nephew, and I'd teach. I'd actually record us planting a tree, or how to, obviously, what I'm saying to you, like, let's say, I don't know, like, let's go learn about the bees or whatever it is and the importance of them. You understand? So I'll do a little bit of a how-to lesson for kids. You understand? And make them be our next advocates. I'll take that as the springboard, that advocates and stewards. Right. So that would be one example. I would probably I'd maybe go do a quick like a 4 minute I'd say not a quick poll, but I'd be like, look, how much do people actually care about the environment? And I'd do a couple of conversations with probably students, I suppose, because they have direct access about, let's say, taking new terminology and new facts that are found about being green and whether it resonates with them. I don't know, that kind of doesn't land properly. Probably I'd say in what ways. No, but let me fix that a little bit. Yeah, I probably would. I would say, like, let's say like Gen Z is on our next, it's our next influential generation. Obviously, I mean, they're supposed to be having the most influence, right? Maybe I would rather go actually I'd rather go find Gen Z eco-friendly influencers in our own backyard, right? So someone South African, and see if I can find it. That's kind of simple but kind of nice, interesting. um Green living, I don't know. Do balconies that provide shade to the rooms and reduce heat gain, solar water. Um, oh, I don't want to go with solar panels. It's too boring. Uh, if there is a community, like a community project, like maybe one that you're aware of that you can go document, that'd be a great example of a podcast as well. Okay, but let's see whether you can think of something like off the top of your head. So go ahead, try something that's just it's related to the ecosystem. It's related to greener living. It's related to like a better, obviously a better world, whatever it may be.
So,
What
Chris,
would
basically,
yeah
for question 2, for
yeah
creating our podcast, we're
yeah
just using these articles to
uh-huh.
actually like bounce off ideas.
Yes
Mm,
yeah
Okay.
that's
that's dope.
yeah. So you don't. So in other words, even I know that I'm not excusing the fact that this link doesn't exist anymore. Obviously, granted, double check. I mean, who would take away the article anyway? It doesn't matter. But the point is that you can tell. Sorry, like the whole point that social media can be addictive and toxic is good enough. Does that make sense? Like for you to springboard anything, you can go look up at anything and do anything that you want in terms of like maybe your own journal away from your phone, like, you know what I'm saying. So in other words, documenting your life one day without a phone, and then going to go record that little journal entry. Does it make sense? Right? Or maybe a week like that. That'd be quite fun to, okay, but
So
sorry,
it's not really about these articles.
no, it has nothing. No,
Oh.
These
no. So
articles are like a springboard from
yeah,
what you can add to. Okay, I get it.
do you understand? That's what I'm saying
Ayanda,
to
sorry. So go
you.
ahead, Chris.
No, no, no. I'm
No,
saying
no, I was gonna
so.
say. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
No,
You
I was
first.
saying there's a show, Ayanda. It's not a podcast or radio, but there's like a television show. It's called The Real Daytime. I highly recommend you look at it. Now, what happens is they have like an article that was read on like Reddit or on News 24 or on Spiritual Word or whatever blog post, and they use those ideas that's discussed in the blog post as a springboard to discuss what's happening. So, according to my understanding of what's just been explained, these articles, we're not like regurgitating them, we're using them as springboards to create our own show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Where can I get The Real Daytime?
Just YouTube, The Real Daytime. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'd like to, like I say, just I want to hear what some of your ideas would be. Let's say when you think about social media and toxicity, what ideas come up to like come up or come to mind?
Cyberbullying,
Okay.
unrealistic expectations of life in the Gen Z,
Okay.
trolling, social
Okay.
media toxicity, unhealthy balancing of social media, lack of social skills. Can I just say a story with that one, lack of social skills? I recently
Yeah.
went to a networking event, which was more for young people at the University in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And the amount of students or the amount of people, specifically students, young people, who just do not understand the importance of like, they just don't know how to keep up a conversation and like the skills that come up with a conversation because they're literally in their screens. And I was listening to one of the talkers. There was like director of Miseducation on Netflix. Ritabile, I think, was there. There was also a couple people like in the industry. And they would just like find ways where you can stand out. And you'd be surprised how like a simple conversation where you know how to talk and you know how to engage in eye contact can take you a very long way. And they didn't say it like directly, but it was kind of like to insinuate like the generation of now, like they're so used to like screen time and social media that like people can't. I said hello to so many people and nobody said hello back.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, "Am I? Like, do I
My
smell
students,
weird?" Yeah. At one point, I was
my
like, "Is
other
this
students
me?"
went to this thing. You're probably talking about them. Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
Yes. No, no. Look, I mean, look, that's a good, like, so many of those, of just what you said, can be, remember with a podcast and with an idea, break it down to something very unique. So break the border of it, break the border of it again, and then you probably have something quite unique, right? So, again, it's something that is that I think I've said this. I'm not sure if I've said it in one of the lessons. Just take an idea, put a new angle on it, take that idea, put another angle in it, and those two dimensions, just those two alone, will allow you something that's rather unique, and you can work with that. So, for example, you can just to report on the loss of capacity to hold conversation
There we go.
is is a good, it's good on its own. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So and it can be bred from obviously the experience, but don't focus too much on the experience. Focus on the semantics of. You understand? So is that a true or false type thing? I mean, you said some other things like, for example, cyberbullying, right? To go and rather interview someone that. So the thing is that I've said this before. Women predominantly are the ones that are cyberbullied, right? Okay, but women are also the ones that actually are always left with an ultimatum to leave the medium. Men are not so much, right? So women, because there isn't any legislation here that protects you against cyber attacks. You understand, right? In the States there is, and that you can put it through their not the FBI, I mean, but you can put it through one, obviously their, you know what I'm saying, their elite whatever, the security forces. I don't know what to say. Yeah, but the thing is, like, here we don't have that in our legislation just yet. We have Information Act, which obviously, like all other acts, is constantly being revised and stuff, but there isn't any action that can be taken I'm saying towards cyber bullies, and the act of. But the thing is, again, that what I'm trying to say is that women predominantly are the ones that are having to give up their accounts, having to go offline, because the thing is that it gets so extremely aggressive. I'm saying to you that they just say, oh, you know what, I have no other choice but to. You understand? So you could just take one person's experience from being an influencer to being, and call it de-influencing, whatever, and then go chat to this person and their toxic experience, with their once upon a time, you know what I'm saying, on social media. So Ayanda, you tell me ones for number 2.
Pardon?
Tell me anything that comes to mind when you hear the word green, or you think of environmental change, or you think of whatever it is. Anything that springs to mind.
What springs to mind for me is a better living situation, a better environment, a healthier environment, because without green, we can't really live. So let's take care of our environment and our surroundings to also just live in a cleaner, safer place.
Okay, I'll need you to go a little bit further than that, because that's already been said. And also, when you're going to find yourself having that conversation, you're going to be bordering on umbrellas. You understand, especially with a 4-minute podcast, right? 4 minutes is not ideal. I understand that, but it's for marking purposes, right? That's why we limit it to the 4, just in general. Right. But so take that a little bit further. I mean, like, in your own, are you I say eco conscious?
To be honest, I'm not 100%, but I try, because
in what ways?
It starts with the small things like recycling.
Yeah.
So with those, I'm very, very into recycling. So I'm quite eco-friendly when it comes to the recycling part and just keeping an area clean. But to go in depth, that now I do, like, maybe go the community and just try as well and help out.
That's great. Look, I mean, the thing is that, you know what, have you ever had a conversation with the people that collect our rubbish, for example?
Oh.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So just to have a conversation, because, I mean, the thing is, we just had the strikes now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I mean, we had a strike here in Pretoria, and man, it was rancid in here. Like, I mean, like, the thing is that the way that but then there's also privatized. There's a lot of privatized garbage collection. There's also privatized companies that do that kind of recycle. They do all the bits of, I'm saying that the bits and pieces, over and above, to push that kind of, for let's say, people that do want to, obviously go for a greener world. You understand they
Yeah.
will hire people and they will go and make sure that their garbage is put in the right places. You could go visit a garbage dump. Have you ever been there? Like,
No.
never. Oh, okay. I know it sounds like something that you should do. You should do it. It's actually quite interesting. It is interesting. I mean, look, the only reason I've been there is because, like, because me and my dad will take like all the stuff that's, they cut down from the trees and the shrubbery and stuff, and you have to go and dump it somewhere. But to go there and actually see how many people are like rummaging through those mass piles, for
Yeah.
anything that they can find, makes it a good human interest story. Do you understand? To chat to those people, say, listen, I'll give you, like I do when I did a short one with car guards, right? Because I wanted to find out there was a thing, there was some kind of law that they're trying to put out to try and not stabilize, to you understand, but car guarding as a profession. You understand? They want to try and do this, because the thing is that but I went to a couple of car guards that worked at different places, got their stories, and the thing is that there's guys that just randomly say that they own that property, quote unquote. I'm saying that car guarding property. And what happens is that they're not like some kind of registered with the government, nothing, right? So let's call this guy Chris. Chris now allows, let's say, 4 or 5 or 10 car guards on that property at a rate of 70 rand a day. So they've got to make 70 rand to pay this dude to stand there to make money. And you think, and I'm not trying to get the empathy there, but the truth is, I thought they made a lot more than that, right?
Yeah.
So they don't even make the 70 rand on most days, and are in debt to this dude that has an
Oh.
agreement, a private agreement with that particular, let's say, little shopping center or grocery store, whatever it is, right? Okay. Anyway, my point is, what I wanted to do was actually, my main thing was to compare car guarding to homeless people that beg on the street. Do you understand? The
Yeah.
homeless person earned up to, and you're going to earn up between 4 and 800 rand a day.
Yeah.
So this is a person that is like, standing there with the board,
Yeah.
and stands there the whole day, and they give them money, 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 even if it's 200 rand a day. Like if you take that by, let's say, 5 days a week, so you put
You
it,
got
if that you
right.
understand, if well, I'm not saying you're doing nothing, they're sitting out there and they're doing, but they earn a lot more than 200. Trust me. This one guy, okay, obviously, this guy has no legs, dude. Like, he needs to be helped. I understand that, right? And no legs. This dude earns like on average between 800 and 1,000 bucks. That's more money than
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, right? That's crazy. Anyway, my point is, like, when you tell, and if you have to tell, like, people that are quote unquote working, I say quote unquote working, car guards are not allowed. And I know I'm carrying on about this, but you must understand where that you can get stories, if you just talk to people. The
Yeah.
car guards are not allowed they are not trained in any kind of, obviously, combat, right? The thing is that when people when they steal cars, they go to the car guards and they threaten them and say, if you tell, or if you go and run somewhere while we're stealing this car, we will come back for you. So they can't even report. The only thing they can do is literally tell you how to get out of the parking and show you where parking is. That's what they're allowed to do. Anyway, sidebar.
So
Okay.
do you
Yeah.
suggest, well, when we're recording our thing, let's say you do get an experience or you get to talk to someone,
Yeah.
do we also like snip that in, or you can
You.
just talk about that person's experience?
No. So I would rather get if you're going to talk about somebody that you did talk to, rather put the interview as the podcast. You understand? So the thing
Oh.
is that why I push for the editor, right, is that I would record 6 to 7 minutes and I would edit down to 4 minutes here. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Okay.
So that you can
Or
only
if someone
put,
has a comment on your topic, you can edit that voice whatever. Let's say they
Yes.
spoke 30 seconds. You can
Yeah.
add that.
Yeah, you can do that and respond to that,
Okay.
that's, so you can put that in there. See there. So again, podcasts have an intro that lays out the facts very quick, because I mean you must take this in terms of a ratio of 4 minutes. So you have about 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds to do your intro. Let's say about the 2 to 3 minutes for the body, and then you close it up with don't do a question, what do you think? Rather do a rhetorical question that is somewhat answered by the podcast, but remains to be explored further. Do you understand? By people's train of thought, because I don't want this to become a call out. Okay, like just make a closing statement, and if you want to include rhetorical questioning for further thought processes. Does that make sense? Yes, no? All good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like this section of the assignment is going to be revisited via
Yeah.
group chat. But yeah, so
That's
far.
okay. And also know that I'm also here, right?
Okay.
So remember, again, you are tested on the fact that you need to be able to record and edit audio. Again, just basic, basic, like literally just split. It's like you will split and you will chop. That's it. And just make sure that when you are putting the segments together, that there's natural pauses in between your audio. I'm saying within, let's say, a multi. Look, I can only I have to just open Audition so I can show you what I mean. Let me just put this on.
How would you close it off though, Chris? Like,
Huh? How would
how
I?
close it off though? Like the
With the podcast.
yeah.
Again, when it comes to an end, remember you have to you're building up, you're getting to the climax, and then you're going to make a closing statement. So leave your listener with a sense of like, I learned something. Does it make sense? So if a closing statement, like, because let's say mine, so it depends, like if it's a series, right? Depends on how it is. If it's a dramatic series, if it's a documentary, if it's a ongoing conversation, it's different. Then you're going to kind of cut it into different parts. But if it's freestanding, if it's independent, I'm saying as an episode, there
Yeah.
still has to be a closer. So that was it, and thank you so much. Remember to follow me on whatever it is and be done.
Oh,
You
okay.
understand?
Okay.
But do make sure that you do close your train of thought. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, before I go into the I'm saying the audition, I just want you to make sure that please note that you're being marked in on a rating system in a way, right? Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 for both. Obviously, I'm saying so the story itself, right? And then again, the vocal delivery is in the same way, right? Same for the news story, but I want to, so again, just make sure that you're aiming for the 4 5s, right? You rarely will get a 3. You'll either get a 2 or 1 or a 4 or 5 in a situation like this. The same thing. I just want to go down to the podcast because again, you're going to see that you see topic 1, the introduction goes in there. That I want you to start strong. So don't waste time with, oh, my name is this and this. You will say that. That takes about 10 seconds, right? Make
Yeah.
a strong statement. It's a hook at the end of the day to start to get people's attention in this podcast, right? Either it's immediately it goes straight into this interview, and this interview is direct to the point. I'm saying to you because of the time limit that you have. Or you are making statements that stand out, and people now want to know how you are backing up what you are saying. Do you understand? So go and cultivate information and like information, right? Information in infotainment, right? From various sources, and then narrow it right down, like I say, to make this podcast, like I say, pop. All right. So I'm just going to quickly switch to I didn't even share that. I didn't share that. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let me just quickly go to this audition. All right. Let me just. I'm just gonna pick. What is this? Radio production practice. That's gonna be too long. Yeah, I've got. Let me just take the sample. It's fine. Let me see if it's still there. Yeah. So this is, I think, me. No. Yeah. Okay. Let me just take it. These are. Oh, it's already edited, right? Okay. So. Yeah. So these are just elements of certain podcasts of mine, right? You would go into a multi-track like this, right? All editing, audio editing software is the same thing, right? You would drag, drop, right? And the thing is, what I mean by splitting, for example, like here, I want to say split, and I would go and I would delete that to make that a little tighter. Do you understand? So it starts immediately.
Oh, okay.
Right. I don't know if you can hear that, because I don't know if I've got to change. Can you actually hear the audio? I don't think you can. No,
No, I just hear birds.
Right.
Hold on. Just hold on a second. Hold on. Include audio. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Can you hear it now? Hold on. Come on, man. Hold on.
Know about the unity. I did say about the unity previously, right? In Gen Z. I want to know.
You can hear it now?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's say I want to, so again, splitting and putting together.
I want to know about Gen Z moving forward. Is it inclusive or exclusive? So in other words, does it include the rest of the world? Do you ever picture someone outside and maybe even younger?
My favorite think pieces
So let's say I want to just edit
Include
that.
the rest of the world?
And let's say I want to go there. And I want to cut out that last part there for whatever reason and let do my speak, let's say here, right? I'm going to cut split. I take that, delete that, and I move that over. Again, it's in multi-channel, as you can see there. Make sure that
In other words, does it include the rest of the world?
My favorite think pieces are when
it's quite natural. Do you understand? So there's if there is a need to pause a little bit, like I would move that up a little bit.
Include the rest of the world?
my favorite think pieces are
See that? So if you want a more like a bit of a natural breath in your own, because obviously remember when you're putting your own stuff against one another, you're going to have to make sure that it ends at a full stop, right? Or a comma when you are editing something else that's closer. So let's say I
come
want
through
to.
and then be like, okay, so listen, this is the case that's affecting our generation, but we need to understand where it came from, and that's where we need to start.
Yeah.
Instead of people just being like, oh, Chris, you're old, your generation things up, and that's your problem, and you don't deserve any part of our success. Go to, I don't know, what were they doing in 1940?
And behind or inside the counter lot.
Right. Yeah.
And behind.
Right. So if I wanted to just, for example, just have those two, I don't know. Do you understand? I would go and I would mix down. Mix down is always the same thing. I'm saying, right? It's going to mix down the whole thing, but I've separated it, just so you can see that. That's how I just want the WTF. What you're talking about podcast, right? Right. And then I would go and in my mix down, I would go and I would delete that there for hold on.
I do want to know about the unity. I did say about the unity.
Yeah. Then what we do is we do some basic. Did you get that? Nice and easy, right? Yeah. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says 5 minutes left in my meeting. It's going to kick me out, right? You would do easy processing, dynamic processing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I normally use a classic Softney, but I want to show you what I'm trying to do here. You see what I'm doing is I'm leveling everything out to the same level. You see that?
Yeah.
Right. And then I would go and I would just normalize this to 100 just to make it nice and loud.
I do want to know about the unity. I did
So that now
to
I
the
have,
world.
My favorite think pieces are when people
and that him, Duma and I sound at the same level, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Okay. I must leave it at that because this thing's going to kick me out anyway. Do you have any questions?
No, pretty sorted actually.
I have no questions for now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Chris, the recordings you'll send on email, right? Please.
Which one? This one? Yeah.
Yeah,
That one.
please.
I can, so yeah, I'll just on email, you say.
I mean, where are you gonna send it? On email or WhatsApp or whatever?
I'll just I'll share it to the group. I'll just share it to the group.
Okay.
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 This